Hey super friends and happy new year. My name is Neil and welcome to this, the first ever live edition of the Get Your Comic Con podcast. We are here tonight live on YouTube, X and Instagram to talk through some of our most anticipated movies, comic books, shows, you name it, of 2026. Before we get down to business, the usual warning. Although lots of what we're talking about tonight has not been released yet, that doesn't mean that we won't speculatively accidentally land on spoilers. So consider yourself warned if you do not want to be spoiled for any of the good stuff that we're about to talk about. So, without further ado, let's roll the credits. Guys, we actually did it. We are genuinely actually live. Slightly later than we had planned, but right now we are streaming live to Instagram and to YouTube. So, hello world. We are actually here. I, as anticipated, completely mucked up all of the technology and yeah, nothing happened. I pressed the live button and everything just went. But nonetheless, we are here for our first ever live episode. And as I just said, we are going to be talking about our most anticipated movies, TV shows, and other such things for 2026. I am joined by Aaron and Michael. Hey guys, Happy New Year to you.
Hi. Happy New Year.
I hope you enjoyed seeing your beautiful faces in that shiny new intro that just played right before we went live. I wanted to make sure that our 2026 edition paid homage to all of everyone on the team that is taking part in video stuff. So we're in there with interviews and podcast clips and everything. It's kind of awesome. I hope you liked it.
It's really cool.
I very nearly didn't give you a heads up that I was going to do that, and I was going to leave it for this exact moment as a total surprise. But then I thought I really genuinely need to just be like, guys, are you okay if your face is in the intro? Do you really want to be in the intro?
Love it. I did question my hat choices. I don't know why every time I record a video, I'm wearing a hat. So, but other than that, it's great. I loved it.
I got a new do, especially for going live. So I was going to be so disappointed if this didn't work.
I'm wearing a jumper.
But you look beautiful like you always do. So
Thank you.
So I can't believe this is our first ever live episode, if you can't tell by the way that I'm anxiously bumbling. But the plan is that we are going to talk a little bit about comic books, then we're going to talk about our TV shows that we're looking forward to, and we're going to round out with movies, although I do have a couple of computer games that were going to get a mention as well, because I'm trying to get back into my gaming a little bit more. But as we are talking through everything, please do comment, like, join in, whatever platform you are watching us on. At this point, there are now 5 versions of us across my 2 monitors, which is scaring the hell out of me. So I can see like I will have to take a photo at some point just to behind the scenes just how many of us there are. But if you are watching on Instagram or on YouTube, I can see what you're saying. So do comment and join in. Let us know what you're excited for this year. Be interesting to see if you come up with things that we don't have on our hopefully really exhaustive lists of things that we're looking forward to. So let's get down to it. Comic books. The thing that we are all wanting to bring more of to the website and the podcast in 2026. What are we excited to read this year? I'm going to go Michael.
Oh, so my list is kind of boring because it's just the extension of the comics. It's just an extension of the comics that I mentioned in our last video. But I'm loving the Harley and Ivy comic. I think it's so good. I think they're absolutely nailing it. So I'm excited to see where that goes because obviously it's kind of like a limited run.
Yes.
And I'm excited to continue reading It Killed Everyone But Me. That comic has just consumed my life. I'm obsessed with it. It is so good. And yeah, I'm excited to see like where they end it, like where they take the story. And yeah, I'm just curious. I like my 2. And then obviously there's some Boom Studio ones. I like Something Is Killing the Children is always up there. And yeah, that's kind of it really.
I was very, very excited when I saw that DC had added issue 3 of Harley and Ivy into the folder, because I was like, I think I know someone who's going to be excited to read this. So I made sure to get that to you as quickly as I possibly could.
Thanks. I did read it literally minutes after you sent it. I downloaded it and immediately read it. I read it so fast. It's so good.
For the benefit of Aaron, this book is not out until the 28th of January. It's the very last week of January, but DC's gotten really far ahead with sending out their review books. So I was like, you can have this. Just don't say anything about it.
Yeah. Do you remember when I almost spoiled the last issue on the podcast when we filmed last time? I was like fully talking about spoilers, and he was like, yeah, it's not out for a few weeks. Shut up. Thank you for that reminder.
Aaron, what about you? What is on your list of books that you are really looking forward to reading in 2026?
I've got a few. I've got like 6 or 7, but I'm gonna rattle off a couple. I really like the look of the DC Vertigo, the new line that they've got.
Very exciting that they have reinstated that line. So I think it's next month, isn't it, that the first books start releasing?
Yeah, like when I heard that they were bringing it back, just anyway, that got me excited. But then I saw some of the books in there, and I was like, oh. Okay, I don't know what any of these are, but I'm intrigued. But the 2 that have really piqued my interest are End of Life, which I think is about a hitman who frees some animals from a zoo or something. And then there is another one called A Walking Shadow, which has the simplest premise to it, which I cannot remember the premise off the top of my head. I think it's basically 8 strangers are stuck in a boat in the middle of, like, stuck in a car or a boat in the middle of the woods, and they just don't know how they got there or anything. And that's kind of all the premise is. But the thing that really intrigues me is that apparently the artwork is inspired by stop motion puppetry.
That's cool.
And I saw like a sneak preview of one of the illustrations of the characters, and it is like that old 80s style stop motion where the puppets look kind of, they're meant to be endearing, but there's something quite disturbing about the way that they're designed. And he's basically they've taken that and just one for one done that sort of art style in the book. But it's also got a bit of if you've read Scott Snyder's Witches, it's got that sort of like hypnotic sort of like watercolory look to it that just kind of splatters all over the page. So that, like, when I read comics, I go for the visuals first and then the story next. That alone has kind of sold me on that one. There are other ones in the Vertigo lineup that do interest me, but that one's kind of piqued my interest the most.
I love stuff like that, though. It's always the books that surprise you that you're not expecting that end up, and we were kind of saying this before we went live, that are the ones that end up kind of being your favorites. It's the ones that just completely sideswipe you that you weren't expecting. And surprisingly, given the fact that I am the comic book guy, I really struggled to put a list together, because it's not often that you get big announcements of things months in advance. So I was trying to think a bit more about books that I'm enjoying at the moment and what direction they're going in that I'm most looking forward to reading. Like with DC, we're in the middle of the DC KO event at the moment, which is this like showdown battle of last one standing, where Darkseid is kind of returning to the DCU and they're trying to stop him from wiping out the entire of the multiverse. So a group of heroes has ended up in this almost like celebrity death match where they're all pitted against each other, and we're like whittling them all down to the point where there's going to be one person who's the last one standing who will take on Darkseid. So December was all fight month, and it kind of wraps up in a couple of months' time. But there's a really cool side story going on with Batman at the moment that's still unraveling. But what I wanted to talk about in terms of anticipate for 2026 is when that event comes to an end, it's going to be used as like I don't want to say a reboot because things aren't going back to like number one. It's not like they're ending everything and all stories start again. But there's going to be like a kind of seismic shift, and certain people will not be in the same position that they were before. So like Cassandra Cain's Batgirl is going to wake up one day. She's going to make it back to Gotham, but she's going to wake up and have picked up someone's metahuman powers that she didn't have before. So there's going to be like a weird, wonky version of the DCU for a little while because of the consequence of this big event that's going on for a few months. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that does and what that means for it. Probably across. I think the kind of the shift happens in March, so probably sort of April, May through summer. We're going to see a slightly different version of the DCU, which is going to be really cool. And I guess that'll probably lead into the first big crossover between the Absolute universe and the main universe. I know we've already warned people about spoilers, so I'm going to not mince my words too carefully. We've already seen now Wonder Woman and Batman cross over with each other in Absolute Wonder Woman that just released in December. That was awesome to finally see those two sharing a book together. And in the next issue of Absolute Batman, we're going to see Wonder Woman crop up there as well. So they're going to recross over again. And they've started. If you've been reading the Absolute books, they've not really referenced each other all that much, other than broad strokes things like Lazarus Tech has been mentioned across them. But at this point, you've got Batman and Wonder Woman talking about Superman, and it's like, oh, we are building towards all the Absolute heroes meeting for the first time, which I think is going to be really, really cool. So I am very, very, very much looking forward to what's happening there. I realized the thing that I kind of marked as my most anticipated comic book thing to talk about for this year also leads into something I want to talk about with TV as well. So I'm like, ooh,
good segue.
Absolutely spoil something for later by talking about a thing that's on my comic book list. But I'm going to go there. I think the thing I am looking forward to the most in comics this year, and I'm sorry to everyone that watches or listens to this podcast and reads the website, because I'm going to be so unbearable when they finally announce a release for this, but Return of Buffy comics. Oh, okay. I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. This is going to be such a huge year for Buffy fans this year, because we're going to get the show hopefully come back later this year. I am glued to Sarah Michelle Gellar's Instagram. Every time she posts a story, I'm like, is this the announcement? Is this the announcement? Is this the announcement? Because they shot their pilot episode like back last summer. We still don't have an announcement as to whether they're getting a series order or not. I can't see that they would not get a series order. But at the same time, in San Diego Comic-Con last year, it was announced that Dynamite Entertainment was taking over the license of Buffy comics. So the boom era of Buffy wrapped up. Not even last year, I think it may have been in 2024. So it's been really, really quiet on Buffy comics. It was Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer was the last thing that was published. But what they announced at San Diego Comic-Con is that Kelly Thompson, who is a brilliant, brilliant writer, is taking over the Buffyverse. And there is some preview artwork out there for what they're planning to do. But essentially, Kelly Thompson's going to be the master architect behind both a Buffy and an Angel book. There's a quote from Kelly where she says, "In my early days trying to figure out how to be a writer and what stories mattered to me and why, no heroine quite broke for me like Buffy Summers. She was somehow everything my young geek heart wanted and always wanted but hadn't known to ask for. Something about that delicate alchemy of horror, fantasy, and comedy paired with a hero so pure of heart yet flawed and relatable was impossible to deny." So they've teased that it's going to be a kind of new take on Buffy. Probably, I would imagine they're holding it to be a little bit closer to the fact that there's no TV show coming. But the one piece of artwork that we've seen is just so perfectly Buffy, because she's got like the red leather trousers from season 3's like penultimate episode. She's got the leather jacket. And it's just, I just cannot wait. It's going to be so cool to have Buffy back. Boom started publishing in 2019 and ran through to 2024. The license ended in mid-2024, so we've had over a year without them. Just really looking forward to it. Honestly,
it's a long time.
So exciting. What I will do is, without spoiling anything else on my list, I will hold up my iPad so that you can see it, because I don't have it lined up. But there she is. She looks awesome. It is the most classic, striking Buffy image, and I'm like, yes, just give me all of that, please. Just give me the Buffy content.
I need to catch up. I've not seen it.
I was going to ask you about this. Where did you get to?
I need to finish it. I think I'm at like episode, I'm going to say like 7 of like season 1. I need to like lock in.
Okay, you're still really.
I'm determined to watch it all.
You should. Yeah, you absolutely should. Aaron, I can't remember if you've watched it or not.
Buffy's a bit like the X-Files for me,
no
where it's
shame
like
if you
I
haven't.
really
No shame.
No, I really want to like commit to it and watch it in its entirety, but I just haven't got around to it yet, and I don't think I will anytime soon because I'm currently doing a whole rewatch of Heroes, which is going to take a while. So,
yeah, I do want to watch it. I started it. Like sometimes I'll put TV shows on while I'm working, like just like in the background. And I put it on, and it is really, really good. I haven't gone back to it, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
and it is so good. I just need to catch up.
That would be a difficult background watch, even for me, who's seen every episode like 15 million times. Because I'd be like, oh yeah, this bit, I love this bit. It's this bit. It's this episode.
I did find myself slowly like not working and like looking more towards the screen where it was on. So that's probably why I didn't go back to it, to be fair.
That's fair. So at the moment, we don't know when the book is going to launch. I genuinely think that they are just waiting for a bit more news on the TV show so that they can kind of double up and wait for people to be like super excited for new Buffy. But that's going to be the pinnacle of my year. So I'm already like, can I talk to Kelly Thompson about this book, please? Please, can I just get her on and just sit down and just talk about Buffy, please? Anything. I will take anything. But I'm going to stop talking. Aaron, what else was on your list? Because I know you had a bit more on the list.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of Image comics.
It would not be you without a couple of Image comics.
No, I realise now that like I think I realised this when we recorded the best of 2025 is that like 99% of my list was Image, and I'm not complaining.
Don't.
So I've got two from Image. Again, there could be more throughout the year that might surprise me, but the two on my radar at the moment are White Sky, which is being compared to like The Last of Us, but with ghosts instead of zombies.
I'm sold.
Yeah. Considering the cover of the first issue and the imagery I've seen from it does look very Last of Us coded, I guess you could say. Yeah. It's very much got me intrigued. But the one that has me intrigued the most and is probably my most anticipated book of the year is Crowbound, which is the new book from Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, who did Descender. Yeah. I adore Descender. I've not finished it, but from the majority of it that I've read, it is impeccable. So the fact that these two are just working on a thing again has me very excited. I've not read Ascender either, but it looks like it's doing a similar sort of visual style to Descender and Ascender, but trying something a little bit different. Like the setting of this is not sci-fi at all. I think it's like half fantasy, half horror, but it's intrigued, and that alone has kind of put it right at the top of my list. And also just one I threw in there as well. I don't know much about it, but going off of the crossovers they did last year, I've got Superman and Spider-Man, because Batman Deadpool was my favorite comic of last year. Just from that one issue alone, it was just incredible. So I'm intrigued because I know there's a Flash Fantastic Four one coming as well, which I was tempted to put on my list, but I was like, I'll just have the one.
So you know how we were talking about how the Batman Deadpool was print exclusive, and not available digital. I think it's the opposite way around with Flash Fantastic Four. I think it's exclusive to Marvel and DC's online readers.
Okay,
so it should already be available on DC Universe Unlimited, and I think it's called Marvel Unlimited as well.
Okay,
you should already be able to get your hands on it.
That's intriguing. Okay, that because I found it quite weird that Batman Deadpool and Deadpool Batman were both physical ones, and now I'm just that's weird that they've done the complete opposite.
There's a reprint of one of the original Superman Spider-Man stories out today. So like a facsimile edition of one of the old ones is released in comic book stores today. I've not had a chance to read it yet. But that's in readiness for them to have the brand new story coming out soon. Great choice.
Okay. Yeah, I do have one last one that I want to mention, but you did say to me before recording that it is out today technically, which is Absolute Batman Arc M. which is basically like I haven't read it yet because I didn't even know it was out today. But I'm very interested to read it just because it is a deep dive into Absolute Batman's version of Arkham.
Yeah,
and that alone is like, well, if the designs of Mr. Freeze, Bane, and Joker are anything to go off of, I'm like, I can't wait to see what the rest of the Arkham inmates look like. That alone is kind of like, oh, the potential could be unlimited.
Yeah, it's a really interesting book. It delves right back into the past. It connects to what they've been talking about with the Absolute version of Joker. It's creepy. It's very Snyder at the same time. So it's creepy and gnarly. And the final page is I will say no more. But okay. What I will say is that viewers over on Instagram are very interested in White Sky and have been Googling, and as have I actually, to see how beautiful it is. So just so that you know, you are influencing the comic book community right now with your.
You are welcome. You are so very welcome. I don't know whether it's good yet, but.
Yeah, I will say hello to everyone that's just joined, because I can see people are still joining on the Instagram stream, which is very, very cool. Please do join in with us as we're chatting and let us know if you're excited for the things that we're talking about, or if there are other things that you think we have missed. Just shout them out, because I am keeping an eye on your comments as we are chatting away. But yeah, I googled White Sky as you were just talking about Arkham, and it does, like, the artwork looks cool. My interest is peaked right now.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know much about it until I was googling comic books for this year, and then I literally saw someone sum it up as Last of Us with Ghosts, and I'm like, boom, take all my money. Take all my money. I want it now.
And we were, so I won't say too much about it, but Aaron and I have been chatting today about more plans for comic book content, bit more website based, but we are working on it so that we can bring you even more of the comic book goodness, because we know it's what you guys enjoy and it's what we like talking about at the same time. So we need to figure out how we're going to get more of it into this podcast, but there are plans afoot, which I think are pretty exciting at the same time. Michael, was there anything else you wanted to add on comic books before we move on?
Yeah, one thing, I know we don't cover a lot of them, but Marvel have got some good comics coming out that I'm really interested in. The Wiccan series.
Amazing sweeping statement. We don't review them, so yeah.
But like, I know we don't, and I'd love to, but the Wiccan series and the Sorcerer Supreme series both look amazing.
So, bit of industry insider info for those who are watching, and if you are listening to this on catch up, by the way, as well, please also, if you're not watching this live, make sure and leave comments wherever you are listening or watching us, so that you can let us know what you're wanting to read this year. But yeah, little insider industry info. Marvel don't really do reviews. So when I first kind of got into this, people say, I got contact details for who to speak to at DC, and it was like, we need to sort of, as you would expect, sort of prove yourself before you're going to get onto a mailing list for review copies and stuff like that. Marvel was kind of scaling back their review content at the time. And then when the pandemic happened, as far as I'm aware, they just, because comics stopped for a few weeks, review copies stopped and just never really came back. So I have tried, I have reached out to people. I have never had responses from people, but I have tried. So it's a difficult one, because it's like, well, when we're getting bombarded with other wonderful publishers sending us stuff that we can read in advance and get our reviews out on release day, it's then difficult to go, I read plenty of Marvel books as well, but it's a bit like, I don't know where to find time for you when I don't have time before you're released for me to be able to write stuff up. But certainly, maybe it's something we will try and do more of this year. I am making a concerted effort to do more movie coverage with them at the moment too.
I would love to start covering Marvel comics.
Maybe this is the year for it. I will just, what I'll do is, I will go to their social media manager and just send this snippet of the podcast of us just going, we really want to cover Marvel.
We'll see three of us, we want
it. I see trending all the time, and like when people like commenting on like the new outfits, like Wiccan's new outfit or like Wanda's new outfit, like people love it. So please give us some screeners or like early access, because I want to review it so bad.
It's probably, well, yeah, I would imagine we're going to come back to them when it gets to movies for 2026. But let's talk TV for a bit. What TV are we looking forward to in 2026? I just actually started watching a show that I was going to be really high on my list for this. And then yesterday I got sent more than half the season. So I started a show that was one of my most anticipated of 2026 last night. And that was Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Hey.
I know you guys have both heard me talk about Starfleet Academy a little bit before and how this is like a slightly new twist on Star Trek.
We have.
The embargo has not lifted yet, so I can't say too much. As we are talking right now, the embargo lifts in about 12 hours. So I've seen 6 of 10 episodes of this show already. My eyeballs were just sucking in all of Star Trek goodness. But what I will say is this year is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, and they are planning lots of kind of things to celebrate that this year across not just TV, but across everything. And I now understand, because this show was, they filmed season 1 quite a while ago. It's been ready for a little while and people have been wondering when it was going to come. And I now understand, having watched it, why they've kept it for the anniversary year. It feels like, this is probably about as much as I'm really able to say at this point, it feels like a kind of cool show for us oldies to watch and be like, oh, little bits of legacy, you know, from all of the different Star Treks that I grew up on, at the same time as doing something that the franchise has never done before to try and capture a younger audience at the same time. So it's like Star Trek meets CW with trying to have the best of both. And that's all I can say. But that is one of my most anticipated, and I was very, very excited that it landed. In fact, I was supposed to have been talking to the cast exactly right now as we're recording this. They are doing a junket, but I didn't make the cut, unfortunately. So
boo! Sorry.
Here we are. So I'm going to have loads more content about that tomorrow and moving forwards, because the embargo lifts at 8 a.m. tomorrow, which is January the 8th GMT. So as soon as that lifts, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about what I've seen. But that is one that's not my most anticipated. My most anticipated ties with the comic book that I was just raving about. But that is one of my shows that I am most excited for. And I don't know, I feel like it could be a good inroad for people who maybe haven't watched that much Star Trek. Michael, looking at you. Aaron, looking at you.
Me.
Hey, I've seen the J.J. Abrams films, okay?
Me too.
Okay, let's put it this way. Star Trek with sexy teens.
Right.
That's what the show is.
Fair
enough.
I'll give it
Somebody please jump in and start telling me what theirs is so that I stop talking.
Okay. So mine, again, kind of like the podcast that we recorded of the best of 2025. Mine is kind of an extension of that. So one of the TV shows I'm the most excited for is Devil May Cry. I know there's a new season coming.
Yep.
Season 2 is right around the corner, and I loved season 1. It consumed my life. I was obsessed with it. I think I rewatched it maybe like 3 times, which is a lot for me, and a lot in general, actually. And then the other thing I'm the most excited for is Amandaland, which is the British sitcom. We just had the Christmas special, which slapped.
Okay, so obviously you were telling us it was one of your favorite shows of the year in our wrap-up podcast.
I was.
Did the Christmas special live up to the hype?
It did. I thought it'd be a little bit longer. I don't know why. I guess like Christmas special, I assumed it maybe be like 40 minutes to an hour, but it was the usual half an hour sitcom timing. But
Two Doors Down did the same thing. I thought it was going to. I'm like, Christmas special, you get an extra long one, but no.
Yeah, I'm sat. I've got my box of chocolates ready. I'm locked in for an hour, and it was only half an hour, which it was what it was. But it was such a good episode, and it was a nice reminder of the TV show. Like, obviously, it came out months ago, so it was like nice to step into the world again. And Joanna Lumley and Jennifer Saunders were both amazing. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Nice, Aaron. What's on your list of most anticipated TV for this year?
I'm just gonna start going up. It's a small list, but I'm gonna start going up. Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely loved
Have we got an idea about when that's coming yet?
No. Your answer. No. I don't know.
I mean, they've not even released a teaser for it yet, so clearly we've got a way to go. But I'm guessing maybe summer.
I presume so, because they did play some stuff at Star Wars Celebration last year.
Okay.
So it's not like they don't have anything. So I would presume. I'm trying to think when Ahsoka season 1 came out the back end of the year that it did. So I can imagine maybe summer, worst case scenario, maybe September-ish.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm spitballing. Another Star Wars show, Maul, Shadow Lord. This is the animated one, which I didn't realize it was animated when it was announced. It was only afterwards that I found out it was animated.
I'm gonna have to admit complete ignorance. I had not heard of this, so enlighten me.
Okay, no.
Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan, fake fan.
Now I'm having to do a quick Google to justify what it is. So they've brought Sam Witwer back from.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Clone Wars. Yeah,
that's good.
Is it Clone Wars? Yeah, Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
And it basically is just following Maul during. I'm trying to remember when it's set.
Whenabouts is it? Is this post the adventures that we've seen of him already, or is this going back?
So on here it says around a year after the Clone Wars, former Sith Lord Maul rebuilds his criminal syndicate and trains a new apprentice during the reign of the Galactic Empire. That's literally all it says. Not much has been known about it, but it is meant to be on Disney Plus this year at some point.
Nice.
And there's not been much snippets in terms of the actual animation style, except for a few still images that, if you've seen that samurai episode of Star Wars Visions, it's very much giving that, but with very intense reds in it rather than it being black and white. And that alone is kind of selling me on the fact that, one, it's a Maul story just in itself, but also the fact that it looks like it's going to be quite brutal in terms of its visual style and its action. Again, not much has been revealed visually, but I'm very intrigued to see how far they go, how dark they're willing to go with it.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're talking about Disney Plus stuff, one of my most anticipated things of this year, X-Men 97 season 2. I absolutely adored season 1. I think it is very rarely will I say a season of a show is actually flawless. That I think actually might be.
Yeah.
I have no faults. It just got better with each episode and outdid itself. And I just cannot wait to see what they do with season 2. It's not my most anticipated show of the year. I'm going to mention that one maybe in a minute, but it's definitely very close, second. But those are some of mine.
Nice. I got the making of book for the original X-Men, the coffee table book that's the making of the original show that they've just released a sequel of, focusing on X-Men 97. So I really need to pick that up.
I've got the coffee table one of the art of X-Men 97, if that's the one you're talking about, that came out
blue cover
several months ago. Dark blue with the characters on the front.
Yeah, so I got the one of that for the original 90s show, which I'm making my way through at the moment, and I am very much looking forward to reading about X-Men 97.
If you want to borrow
we have a little. I'm going to read out a message. I'm going to read out a message from a viewer. So Nocturnal Animal 85 just said, yes, X-Men 97 set the bar so high. I just hope it follows through after the loss of the initial showrunner. Yes, there has been a changeover, which I think has been quite heavily discussed in the media. But it was it's going to be interesting to see if there is any kind of tonal shift in season 2 with that changeover behind the scenes. I think they had done a fair amount of work on season 2, because I know the cast had done quite a lot of recording before all of that happened. I think they were kind of in the studio working on season 2 as we were all completely lusting over season 1. But it's an interesting year for Marvel shows, because they haven't got a huge amount of stuff this year. It's quite it's really not a low-key year for them, but in terms of the volume of projects that they've got coming out this year, there is less out there. I had X-Men 97 on my list as well. Go on.
I was like, I like that. I like that Marvel's not got too much stuff going on.
No, it's good. You don't want to have it wall to wall every single year. But what I was going to say was I've got Wonder Man on my list because I think the trailers for it look really interesting.
Yeah, I was going to put it on my list, but I think there are other shows I'm more excited for, but it's definitely like in the top 10 most anticipated.
It's really nice to see them almost doing with Disney Plus what they did with WandaVision, which was really not follow any kind of formula and actually. This is going to sound like I'm being critical of other stuff, which I'm not, because I've enjoyed most of their shows, but it feels more original and unique, and like they have something to tell us that has a very specific perspective, that they've allowed a very specific creative vision on, which I think is when they were at their best, when they were allowing that to happen. And that's what we saw with like Fantastic Four last year and with Thunderbolts, that when you allow the creative team to really do their own thing and really do something unique, I think that they're actually on fire. So I really hope for them that Wonder Man's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, there's also Vision Quest as well, isn't there?
I wasn't sure whether that was actually this year or not.
It's slated for 2026, but
okay.
It's been, I don't want to say it's been pushed back multiple times, but like we got it announced and then it's just kind of been radio silence outside of a couple of like casting announcements here and there. But it is currently slated for 26. Yeah, it's currently slated for 26.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure I saw some of the cast in their kind of wrap up of 2025 just on social media, being like 2025 was the year of, talking about how they spent most of the year working on it and it kind of wrapped up towards the end of the year. So I'm pretty sure production is now finished and they're just in post-production. So maybe it's a case of if it's ready, it'll be this year, and if not, it won't be.
There is one reason alone why I'm really excited for it, and that's because Henry Lewis and Jonathan Sayer from Mischief Theatre, who do like The Play That Goes Wrong, are in the show. And that alone is like, I want to watch it. I don't care. I love that lot. And I just want to see more of them. Yeah, it immediately just sold me. I don't care who else is in it, just them two. Yes, I'm on board.
Flip side, over on DC, I've got Lanterns on my list, which I'm looking forward to. I am a little bit like at the moment because Lanterns had originally been due to release quite early on in this year, and they never announced a date. So let's not say it's been delayed, but it ultimately HBO Max are the ones who decide when the series will release, even though it's a DC Studio production. So it's looking more like it's going to be summertime, which means we might have Supergirl in June, Lanterns in kind of maybe August, September, and then Clayface at the end of September going into October. So we might, like, there isn't a huge amount of DC Studios live action content this year, but we might get it all in quite a small kind of window, which is, I wish it was spaced out a bit more, but at the same time, we all know that I'm going to be absolutely eating up every single moment. But we got that tiny teaser bit of footage in a preview of like HBO Max's preview of 2026 reel. And it looked pretty cool. We're going to get a slightly older Hal Jordan teaching, a younger Lantern how to sort of hone his power. And we're going to see Jon Stewart, I guess, a little bit earlier in his career than we would have maybe seen him in things like the Justice League animated show. So I think it's going to be interesting seeing how they bring the Lanterns into the DCU. So I'm really excited for that. And that's kind of our big DC show for this year. I've got lots of others, but Michael, I'm going to come back to you. What else is on your list? Yeah.
Well, you've both kind of said them, which was the other thing that I am a little bit excited for is season 2 of Daredevil. Well, season 2 of Daredevil. Yes. Purely because of Jessica Jones. If I'm being honest, I love Jessica Jones, and her involvement in the season makes me really interested to see what they're going to do. I think it could be quite good.
I will be completely honest with you. I had forgotten that we had season 2 coming this year. So there's actually more Marvel content than I thought there was.
Plus, there is a Punisher like one-off thing as well, which I keep forgetting about until I see it pop up. But I don't know. I think that's one of the little shorts that they're doing, like in the same vein as like Werewolf by Night.
Yes, that would be very cool.
Yeah, I think that's coming out this year because they've already filmed the majority of it. They filmed it alongside Born Again season 1. So
I wonder if that's gonna bridge a bit of a gap between where Punisher was at the end of Daredevil season 1 into where he is in. You're gonna have to bear with me because I keep calling it Brave New World, Brand New Day.
Yeah, I think it is going to tie into Brand New Day because I know John Bernthal's meant to be in it, and that would seem like a logical step to like tie it in from one thing to the other and all have it connected. That sense, it would make sense.
Yeah.
We just got the most brilliant comment on Instagram. So by Jordan Luke had said, which show was that you were talking about? So I just went back over the last couple that we were talking about, and he said, "Oh, Vision Quest. I heard Pigeon Fest."
Now that's a show I would watch.
Marvel's Pigeon Fest coming 2026 to a streaming service near you.
Who bet me plays a pigeon?
Yes,
it's just it's a remake of Valiant. That's all it is.
I love it.
I'm interested to know with Daredevil as well. I think he is the most amazing casting in that role, and I loved season 1. I was a bit shaky on season 2 on Netflix, and actually have never seen season 3, which is a travesty of its own right. But I wasn't a really big fan of season 1, which really disappointed me. I like certain aspects of it. Yeah, Born Again just didn't live up to it for me.
No, I agree.
I don't know what it was. There was just something about it just felt like, I don't know. It was almost like it was restrained. Like even the fight sequences, I know they weren't going for like a full-on like 18 rated gore fest of like visceral fight sequences, but it just, I don't know, something about it just felt like it had been sanitized in a way, and I just wanted to see it a little bit more true to who the character is in the comics, who is, you know, he is a hero, but he's a hero who's not afraid to bust some jaws. If that makes sense.
I also think there was while it might have been a little bit iffy, there was some magic to the Netflix like Marvel world, like the whole Jessica Jones, the Defenders, and I think obviously up until this point, like with Jessica Jones been in the new season, we didn't really know what they were going to do with all these other characters, and we've all grown quite attached to the people that play them. And I remember when I started watching Born Again, I was like, it's fun, I'm enjoying it, but it like lost its spark a bit. So
yeah, we just got another comment, which was more Moon Knight and Ironheart, please. Which is, I think both were pretty good shows. I think Ironheart was a big surprise of last year, and Moon Knight, it's a surprise that they just never have gone back and used more of that character yet. I hope that at some point they do find space to bring those two back into the MCU somewhere.
Me too. I'll also throw this one in the ring. Bring She-Hulk back. She-Hulk was it got slated, but it was amazing. And I think looking back on it with, hindsight, I think people are a little bit more forgiving. So let's give it another go because it was so good.
Tatiana Maslany is in Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Is she?
Yep.
Well, full circle.
If you needed selling on it, then Tatiana Maslany is in it. Literally first scene. Tatiana Maslany. That's all I'm going to say.
So good. She's so good. Yeah, more She-Hulk.
Great choice. Great choice. I'm a couple of random ones from my list. Scarpetta, which is a crime show that's going to be on Prime Video later this year. Nicole Kidman in lead, which is major casting. But if anybody has ever read them, it's based on the Patricia Cornwell crime series about the. She's not forensic anthropologist because that would be Temperance Brennan, but similar kind of murder mystery detective series about a detective called Kay Scarpetta. Was really big in the 90s. I couldn't even tell you how many books there are, like countless books. I've read a few of them. My dad was a big avid reader of them, as was one of my sisters. After years, I don't know if they've ever really done many adaptations. They're finally making it into a Prime show, and we know that Prime has been great with things like Alex Cross, bringing some of those like literary big fan favorite crime series to the screen. So Scarpetta is an interesting one. That's got a premiere date. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but you can check out some first look stills over on the website. I also put Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Season 2 is back quite soon. I haven't watched any of it yet, but it's all on the Apple Screeners platform, so I've got it sitting there waiting for me to watch. But I'm really interested to see what they do with more of that. I'm going to guess we're going to be in a similar position where it's going to be set between films so that they're not interfering with continuity a little bit. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see more small screen Godzilla. Did either of you guys watch the first season?
I still need to watch season 1. It really, I only got Apple like a year or two ago, so like Apple TV. So it is one of the shows I need to get through.
Apple TV just came up in the Instagram chat as well. Nocturnal Animal 85 just said Silo season 3, one of my favorite shows. Apple TV. Yeah, you are right. Apple TV does have some absolute crackers. I have seen season 1. I have not seen season 2. I just saw that they announced that season 4 is going to be the final season for it, which I think is a clever move for them because it doesn't feel like the kind of show that could run forever. But Silo is a really good one if you've not, certainly from season 1, from what I saw, if you've not watched it. I think the thing I love with them, with Apple, is the production values are just insane. I have yet to watch a show of theirs that looks cheap.
I like them because they you can tell this with everything you watch on there, is that like they very much prioritize quality over quantity, whereas some streamers can just kind of dump a load of stuff on there and some of it's good, some of it's not so good. They do take their time with, like, there's not much on Apple TV, but what they do have is 9 out of 10 times really good. That's actually a really good segue, because my most anticipated show is Ted Lasso season 4.
Nice.
I love all 3 seasons. I don't care what people say about the 3rd season. It's not shit. It's great. I love it. And Apple, if you're watching, I would love to cover season 4 interviews and everything. Please.
Nice, love it. No, you were. Nice. I was just gonna. Severance just came up as well as an Apple show in the chat, and slipping over to Netflix. Jordan just mentioned Department Q, which is a brilliant crime drama on Netflix. I need
to watch that as well.
So good. It is really, really good. It came as a complete surprise. It's another, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, it was like a Scandi novel or Scandi show that they brought over and produced in Scotland. And it just translates so well from the original to the Scottish version of it. It's so good. Another good Apple TV one, which is back quite soon, and again I need to sit down and watch, is Hijack season 2. So Hijack is the Idris Elba show where it was set on a train. I want to say train? No, plane in season 1. Train was the one that was on BBC, which is also brilliant. This one's on a train. Idris Elba is like a negotiator in big business and ends up on a plane that's been hijacked. Really, really tense real-time drama. And bless him, it did so well that the poor guy, having been hijacked on a plane, is now being hijacked on a train in Berlin for season 2. So that is one that is going to be really cool to look forward to. And it's just one has just popped up in the chat, which is next on my list, which is Doctor Who back in 2026.
Oh yes,
Christmas special.
Why did I not put that on mine?
See, this is the thing. You sit down and you think like, obviously, finitely, I did not want this podcast to last like 6 hours. But when you get down to it, it's like there is a lot to look forward to this year. Doctor Who back with a Christmas special at the end of this year. Russell T Davies, very interestingly worded in the press statement, Russell T Davies has agreed to return to write, did not say direct, write the Christmas special. So I don't know if he's directing. And this will pick up on the conclusion of season 2 when Ncuti Gatwa very sadly decided to step away from the show, and I was about to say mutated, degenerated into Billie Piper. Be that Billie Piper the pop star, Billie Piper as Rose, Billie Piper as the TARDIS, whatever might she be. I think that could be a really good Christmas special. Aaron, I think you're bigger on Doctor Who even than I am. How are you feeling about a Christmas special?
I mean, I'm just hoping that they used it, because that's a rather big gap between when the War Between the Sea and the Land, or whatever it was called, between that ending and then the Christmas special coming out, that's still a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that they use the time wisely. And I don't mean this to sound as a criticism, but like now that they don't have Disney money, they can put more of an effort into like really making the writing as good as it can be, rather than relying on the money to then do a lot of the
heavy lifting.
But if some of the theories I've seen end up being true, and it leads to maybe a soft reset of the whole thing, I wouldn't be disappointed. Like as good as Jodie's run was, and as good as Ncuti's run was, I think the show could use a little bit of a fresh reset from a literal point of view, not just from like a aesthetic point, but I think a literal reset might be the thing it kind of needs at the moment. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic.
Yeah, me too.
Love that.
So my most anticipated, Buffy. We don't know that it's back this year, but I think it will be. I would not be at all surprised if it's September, October, because it'll be spooky season around Halloween. Because when is a better time to launch the return of Buffy? But this is my thing. Like I was saying, as I was talking about the comic book, we know they've shot a pilot. We've got Chloe Zhao, who is back in, being talked about for Oscar contention at the moment for everything that she has been doing in the last few months. I think it's going to be something really, really, really special, and I just cannot wait to get a proper first look. We've seen nothing from the pilot shoot, apart from some blurry behind the scenes photos, and basically the PR team at Disney Plus, because that's where it will be in the UK, because it's being masterminded by Hulu. The Disney Plus PR team just need to know that the minute there is like an announcement that it's going to go into production, I'm going to be like, and when can I speak to Sarah Michelle Gellar? And when? And when? And when?
Have you spoken to her before?
Have I never told you the story of when I met her?
I don't think you have. You've met Sarah Michelle Gellar and you've not told me.
I exist in her brain. I do exist in her brain in the smallest, tiniest amount. So she obviously had the show Wolfpack, that was one of the very, very early shows on Paramount Plus. And Paramount Plus did a really big promotional push on it because it was one of their big launch shows. And she came to the UK to promote it, which I'm not even sure she did for Buffy back in the day, because very rarely did cast come over here apart from Anthony Stewart Head, who, British. So she came over and they did an event in one of the really big hotels in Leicester Square, really swanky, where she came out along with the showrunner. There may have been someone else. I don't know, because I was just like, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar. So there was only maybe 30 of us there, and they used this conference space in the hotel that they just turned into a miniature screening room, that we were all just sat on these luxurious sofas while she was sat in front of us chatting. And I was Aaron, I was with our friend Paul Klein, and he asked her a question during the Q&A, which I couldn't speak. And he asked her a question, and I had to film it. And basically, the two of us were crying afterwards, because he was like, "I've just asked Sarah Michelle Gellar a question." So we watched the pilot episode of the show, and then we're like, "Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next," because it mentioned in the invites that there was going to be a drinks reception, and Wolfpack, full moon, woods, think werewolfy themed. The wall behind us, the partition wall in this conference space, just opened, and they built a bar in a woodland behind us. So they had turned this space into a bar in the woods with the full moon, and there's trees and dry ice, and Sarah Michelle Gellar hangs out at the party. But where do I meet her? I meet her outside the men's toilets, because I drank quite a lot that night. I went to the bathroom. As I came out of the bathroom, she was just stood right outside the door, because it turned out her little green room, breakout space, was directly opposite. So I just stepped out, and I was just like, "Bobby!" And she was stood right in front of me, and she just looked at me. And even though I was about as far away from her as I am from this camera, I just went, "Hi," and she just looked at me. And she went, "Hi," and then her security guard went, "No," and moved her on. Just in case they obviously thought that I was going to like dive on her for like a hug and be like, "Let's do selfies." But I left it at hi and moved on. But that was the moment I met Sarah Michelle Gellar.
That's amazing. I can't believe you're not told us this before.
That's the thing. I'm like, I exist. She has seen me. Like, this has been scanned. This ugly mug has been scanned and exists in the database of her brain, which is fine by me. I can die on that one, honestly. But yeah, if I get to talk to her for Buffy, nobody will ever hear the end of it. Like, it will just be amazing. So I hope that they've got a good premise and that they get that full season order, because that will be like the pinnacle of my year to have new Buffy.
Nice.
Love it.
I was talking
before we move on,
half an hour then, so someone please cut me off.
As I said, before we move on to whatever else, I've thought of two potential good TV shows that we've not touched on. One is the season finale of The Boys.
I think final season this year.
Yeah, that's going to be big. And then the other thing is Tomb Raider. So obviously, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is finally writing an Amazon TV show, thank God. And we got the cast announcement yesterday, I think. And
yes, we did.
Looking good.
They went in depth with that cast announcement.
It's stacked. It looks really good. And if that's coming out this year, which I think it is, I don't know if they've given it a date. I could be wrong, but
so Sophie Turner had said that they start shooting this month. That hasn't been officially said by the studio, but she said that they start shooting this month. For anybody that's not aware, so this is Phoebe Waller-Bridge masterminding a live-action Tomb Raider series in which Sophie Turner is going to star as Lara Croft. So they announced 11 new cast yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, 11. So there are 3 people playing characters from the games. So Martin Bob Semple is playing Zip, Lara's long-standing tech support and friend. Jason Isaacs is playing Atlas de Mornay. Atlas is Lara's uncle. And Bill Patterson is playing Winston, the farting butler, for those of us who are old enough to remember Tomb Raider 2. And then they also added Jack Bannon, who many will know as Alfred in the Pennyworth show. You've also got John Heffernan, Celia Imrie, Patterson Joseph, Sasha Luce, Juliette Mortimer, Sigourney Weaver, major one, and August Wittgenstein. If you head over to our website, it's still up on the main page at the moment. You can read character bios for every single person that they're playing, because they actually fully announced all of them. Nocturnal Animals just said Tomb Raider, excellent. Right, excellent writer, not sold on the lead. I know. I think a lot of people are a little bit like Turner is a little bit of a left field choice. Interestingly, she has said that she's been working with a personal trainer for over a year, because she's been cast more than a year now. She spent a year working. Like, I haven't really seen her in anything in the last year, so I presume it looks like a bodybuilder. If she spent a year working with a personal trainer, I'm going to be very interested to see what a first look at the character is like. I was talking to the PR guys yesterday who sent around the casting announcement. I sent them I've been playing these games since 1996, and I'm not sure you were born then, but please give me everything for this show. And I got an email back today that was like, "Oh, bless you."
Is it weird that like one of the most anticipated members of that cast for me is Celia Imrie?
Celia Imrie
right there with you.
So she's playing Francine. So Francine is the head of advancement at the British Museum, focused solely on raising funds and glasses of champagne, is exactly how she is described. And the comment on Instagram, Sigourney Weaver is playing a character called Evelyn Wallace, a mysterious, high-flying woman who is keen to exploit Lara's talents. So let's go with yes, she probably is the head of a shadowy cabal.
Fair enough. Of course she is. I think what's going to be interesting...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
What's been interesting is to see Sophie Turner in the role, because for me, I really wanted Melissa Barrera as Lara Croft. I thought she would have been amazing.
She's got good physicality.
Yeah, like if you've seen her in pretty much anything, but the film Abigail, where the vampire movie.
Yes.
She's she has a lot of physical acting in that, and I think
She does.
when I was watching that, I was like, oh, that would be a good Lara Croft. So
we just got some Celia Imrie love in the comments from a certain Martin Askew, who says, "Love Celia. Dinner Ladies is a British comedy staple." Can't argue. Can't argue with you.
She was great on Celebrity Traitors.
Oh, bless her. So I was going to say, and this was, I realized this wasn't officially on the list for this podcast, but I did make a little list of like video games that I'm looking forward to this year as well. And it's a very short list of 3 games, all of which are major IP tie-ins. One of which is Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. So this seems like the perfect moment to talk about it. It's been so long since we had a new Tomb Raider game. They've only been doing the remasters, which have been great. It's been really fun going back and playing like the original first 6 games, because I genuinely did have Tomb Raider 1 in 1996, which I realize is before both of you were probably born. Which is
I was born in 96, so yeah.
I'm a 97 baby.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
And I was already PC video gaming. Anyway, but finally, they've announced 2 new games. So we have Legacy of Atlantis, which is kind of retelling the story of the initial trilogy, but completely rebuilt in using new technology, and also bridging because Tomb Raider for those youngins, you have like the original games up until the Survivor trilogy. So the original games had a kind of backstory for Lara, which you can see in the Angelina Jolie movies. And then that backstory changed a little bit for the Survivor version. So what they're kind of doing before Catalyst, which is the game that's out next year, which is completely new, is they're doing this like unified Lara thing. So we're going to get like a new version of the story of the original 90s games, but using like a new backstory that takes bits from her original backstory and from the Survivor to kind of mix it all together to be like the ultimate Lara. So I'm really excited about it, which is really all I had to say about video games. I just wanted to talk about Tomb Raider.
It's funny you said that, because that was my segue between TV and video games, was both Tomb Raiders. That was kind of why I brought it up, because I was like, I'm excited for both of these.
Love that. The other things that I had on my list were Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which is out, and I want to say May. I don't think I'm supposed to tell you that I've played it already. Some of it, like alpha version of it, like not the final game. And it was awesome and I loved it, but I don't think I'm supposed to tell you that. But I'm really looking forward to it because it's really fun. And my other one is Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown, which is like you can basically replay the entire of the 7 seasons of Star Trek Voyager, but making your own decisions. So it will start out like the show starts out, where they get thrust to the Delta Quadrant, where they're cut off from Starfleet. And then you make all the decisions and go on all the missions and decide where to take the ship and to try and get home again. It looks really, really fun, but that doesn't have a release date yet, but it's out a little bit later this year. Again, I'm going to stop talking.
Well, before we go on to film, there is while we're on the topic of games, I'm going to mention one, which has just come into my head, and that's Insomniac's Wolverine.
Is that this year?
Apparently, back into this year, it's coming out. That game looks insane. And as someone who loved the X-Men Origins game back in like 2009, this looks like that, but just like better.
Yes.
So, I didn't have any games on my list, but that's the only one that could.
It wasn't an official topic for the podcast, but I was just thinking about things I was excited for this year, and they had kind of all come up in the second half of the year that I was like, cool. This is going to be a good year for me for gaming, because I'm a terrible gamer. I really like, other than, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, other than like Mario, which again is its own IP anyway, but at least it started as a video game. Most of the video games I play and have always played my entire life are like the Spider-Man movie games, Batman games. I guess Tomb Raider is about the only franchise that was an original gaming franchise, than The Sims. Like everything, like the only way that you're going to sell me straight away on a game is if it's like IP based, which is terrible.
Well, speaking of IP based, I had 2 games left on my list. One was Wolverine, so great minds think alike.
How did I forget the other one Wolverine?
Was GTA 6. I think Grand Theft Auto is going to be so big if they release it this year.
That's got a massive asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
Do you know when it's releasing? It's releasing the same day as the 9th episode of Stranger Things.
So never.
I'm just going to Google and make sure that an episode hasn't dropped while we've been on here.
I will eat this kind of cook if one has, because I just don't believe that's happening.
No, it hasn't.
Wait, has it happened?
No, it hasn't.
Your face made me go like, oh, has there?
I'm really sorry. I've been planning that all day. All day, I was like, what point in this podcast can I try and like catfish them into thinking that a new episode of Stranger Things has dropped? But then I thought it doesn't. Like, Aaron, you've not seen anything beyond season 1 yet, anyway.
It doesn't matter. I've got to get through here. Listen, I've got to get through my rewatch of Heroes first. So it's going to be
exactly. Yeah. Right. Are we ready for movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we have already rattled off for an hour, so let's go. Let's see how long movies can take this year. This is. I mean, when we were doing our wrap-up podcast for this year, it was interesting how much we didn't overlap. But I wonder whether we're going to overlap in anticipation rather than what we ended up loving from the last year. Can anyone guess what my most anticipated movie of 2026 is?
Clayface?
Doomsday?
No. Supergirl.
That was my second guess. That was my second guess.
I think it's the DC shill in me. So I mean, I am really excited for Clayface. I'm anxiously excited for Clayface. I want to see some official footage before I really get hyped for it. I think it could be really interesting, especially if they're taking inspiration from like The Substance and films like that, because I think you could do something really cool. I do think, and I am willing to like put money on it, that we will get a teaser trailer either the end of Feb or the beginning of March for it. So I think we're not too far away from having footage from it. But yeah, I think Supergirl is my most anticipated for this year, because I'm interested to see the DCU get off Earth and see what's out there in space, and see there's a new still that's dropped today of Millie in full costume that looks really cool. I'm just excited to see her and see more of that. But I am very, very hyped for Doomsday and other such comic book movies. But Supergirl actually has to be my most anticipated for this year, because I think there's so much excitement after Superman and so much goodwill for the DCU based off Superman and Peacemaker Season 2 and Creature Commandos that I just want to see it keep building and keep growing. And that's going to be... It's going to blow the whole thing wide open to then see all this stuff that can happen in space and all these characters that could inhabit that part of the DCU. So that's why it's my most anticipated, but totally understand if there are other comic book movies which are higher on other people's lists.
Would you believe I don't have a comic book? Well, I have comic books on my list of comic book movies, but my most anticipated movie of the year is not a comic book movie.
What's your most anticipated comic book of the year?
What's
your most anticipated movie of the year?
It is The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yes, that's on my list as well. Yeah,
it's on my list as well.
The book came out on my birthday last year, and I consumed it as fast as I could. And it's just such a good book. And I think the trailer looks so stylish compared to all of the other Hunger Games. And
it does.
There's just something in the trailer that just looks so appealing, and I just think they're really going to go for it. And I'm all in.
That's a really good choice. We've been rewatching the Hunger Games movies just like as a Sunday thing for the last few weeks. So we just did Mockingjay Part 2 this weekend gone. So Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes is up next, and then I'm really excited for it. I think it could be. I think I've talked about this before. I loved the Songbirds and Snakes movie. I wasn't a massive fan of that book. I struggled with that book, whereas I loved the Sunrise on the Reaping book. So I think it's going to be. It felt like it would lend itself to both a film and being a really good book. So I'm excited to see how it does translate.
Me too. I agree.
We just got a comment from Ox Sweet Pea saying, "I cannot wait for Wuthering Heights, but Sunrise is my second for sure." And I had that. I'm just going to say I noticed. I saw that you replied to our Instagram story, and I had your Wuthering Heights in front of me, along with Alf_B182, who said, I really want to see the Iron Lung movie, which I thought was someone taking the mick about comic book movies, because I was like, who the hell's Iron Lung? I've never read that comic book. And then I Googled it, and it's a real movie. And it actually looks really interesting. Thank you for sending your comments.
They are appreciated.
Yeah, they are very much appreciated. Jordan has just said Dune on my list. Disclosure Day. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah,
Project Hail Mary also on my list. Great year. No, I agree with you. It is a great year for sci-fi this year. I think it's going to be a really big year for it. Aaron, most anticipated movie?
I mean, my number one spot is a tie between three that I don't know which one I'm more excited for.
You're so excited.
So like the two big hitters are the Odyssey and Dune Messiah, or Dune Part 3 as it's kind of titled at the moment.
Yeah.
But the one that is currently in third but keeps like darting between the other two is Avengers Doomsday. And I think it's because with each teaser we're getting, the more it's kind of, this is the thing, about earlier a few months ago, I was like half excited, half worried for Doomsday, because like it seems like it's going to be so big, it could either kind of blow up in its face, or it could be like one of the best things Marvel have ever done. And it could literally be a 50-50 split. I don't think there's any middle ground. It could either go one of two directions, which is why I'm excited for it, but I am also a little bit concerned. But with the teasers we've been getting and the fact that they're very much leaning into that Infinity War Endgame tone of it being very bleak and desolate and like there's no other hope left, if they really are committing to that like they did in those two films, then I'm sold. And I'm sorry, that X-Men teaser was phenomenal. Like my boy James Marsden's finally gonna get like his due 20 years later. Cannot wait. But yes, Odyssey also looks incredible.
Yeah.
And I can't really say anything about Doom Messiah because we haven't seen anything yet. But Denis Villeneuve,
I think it's really interesting that we have had 3 teasers for Doomsday, 4 if you saw the one that leaked yesterday, and yet we don't have a trailer for Brand New Day unless you saw the version that leaked a couple of weeks ago. I find it interesting that they're promoting December's movie ahead of July's. So interesting. I mean, I think you just encapsulated how a lot of people are feeling, but also, again, Nocturnal Animal in comments just said, although Doomsday I wasn't excited until Speak, Neil. Although Doomsday I wasn't as excited till I saw the X-Men trailer and almost cried seeing a comic book accurate look from my man Cyclops. I hope they finally do him justice in films. I think there's a lot of people out there who are similarly kind of anxious about Doomsday I think we're all kind of on the same page that because Doom hasn't been in a single movie before this, it's going to be like there is almost no build up to this point. It feels like we're going from no build up to big event movie. But whether it's because we've all kind of grown up with the X-Men movies or not, it just seems like everyone's like, cool, Steve Rogers. I mean, yay, Thor's serious again. And then it's like, X-Men.
At least with like the first 3 phases, Thanos was always there in the background doing stuff. Like you always knew that, even though he was never like a major player in any of the films. Because of post-credit scenes and people mentioning him, you knew he was always there. Whereas the only thing we've really seen of Doom is the Fantastic Four post-credit scene, and that's it. That's literally all we've seen of him.
Exactly. And if plot leaks are to be believed, then that post-credit scene is not what we expect it to be. And I don't. Did either of you see the teaser that leaked yesterday? Did you watch the footage? Michael's nodding in yes.
Yes. If it's the teaser that someone put in our group chat, Neil, then yes, it is. Yeah, I have seen that.
I love how you just said if it's the teaser that someone put in the group chat.
Someone did. I don't know who it was.
We didn't cover it on the website because we don't share things like that. Just the description. I think that teaser lends a bit of credence to one of the leaks that came out this week, which I thought was really interesting. But I won't get into it because I don't want to spoil anything. And I need to keep up with comments as well. So we also get Digger, Bone Temple, and Resident Evil. But see, okay, Bone Temple. This is an interesting one. Bone Temple, yeah. Firstly, sounds like a great way to ask someone if,
preferences.
Yeah.
Not when I've just had a sip of water. No.
Yeah. We all know how I feel about this movie. I had a full-on rant on my Instagram the other day, which was probably my most engaged story about the name of that film.
I was not a big fan of the last one, but I do really want to see this, and I want to see where Nia DaCosta takes it, because I think brilliant director, and I'm interested to see a fresh take on the universe, but I'm yet to be sold. So that's, I'm interested, but I'm cautiously interested.
Is that the director that did the oh my god, I can't think of the name of the film. It's just gone up my head.
You're thinking of Beans and Hook. Yes,
Candyman, thank you.
Yes.
Is that the same director?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that could be quite good, to be fair.
Yeah, I think she's a brilliant director, so I think they've made a really good choice in stepping away and having someone else direct for the franchise. So we'll see. Right. I had a lot of issues with that last one, particularly the final act.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting.
Other ones I had on my list for this year, They Will Kill You. Where did this come from? I had not heard of this movie, and then the trailer drops, and oh my god, what a flippin' brilliant trailer that was. That came out of nowhere, and it's out in March 27th. It looks so fun. There's some old boy vibes in there. It just looks really cool, and Zazie Beetz is just awesome.
The vibe I was getting from it was Ready or Not.
Yeah,
like that's the bit. Just from the poster, I was like, this feels like it's trying to be Ready or Not 2.5.
Yeah. I mean, Ready or Not 2 also very exciting. Any trailer, which Sarah Michelle Gellar staking someone, genius. Love it. Sold.
Love that. Yeah. And the title, clever title, Ready or Not, Here I Come. Great title. On Temple, Egg Nuts.
Yeah. Honestly, do you know what? I hadn't even given the idea of Bone Temple a second thought until I saw you ranting about it, and then I was like, "Nah, that's it. I'm done. That's it. I'm absolutely done."
I think when I read your Instagram story, I think I spat my cup of tea out when I read it because I was just scrolling. And I'm like, "Okay, you got a point."
I replied to that story with something very not safe for work.
Yeah. I just thought everybody talking, there's that specific bubble on the film Instagram where everyone was all of a sudden talking about it. I was like, is nobody else reading this title the same way I'm reading this title? And I guess not.
Just makes me curious to see what the third one's called.
Well,
yeah. So Jordan just mentioned, is anyone interested in Scream? And I think this is a really interesting one. Because I actually am, but I was slightly anxious to put it on my list because I know it's a bit controversial for lots of things that have gone on behind the scenes. If you try and kind of park that and think about what they are apparently doing with this movie, I'm really interested to see how it works, because I've heard so many different things about how they're trying to play the storyline based on how many returning actors there are in this film. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm anxious because I love that franchise and I loved where it was going. But I don't know. It could work. I'm excited to watch it. I just don't know whether it's going to work or not.
I agree. I'm the biggest Scream fan. I literally did a video today talking about Scream 1 that I'll be putting up somewhere later. But I'm obsessed with Scream. It's so good. And I think all of the behind the scenes dramas kind of tainted this one a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think no matter what it does, it could be the best Scream that we've ever had. And I don't know if it's going to beat the online battering. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm hopeful it'll be good.
Yeah, I think we need to try and park some of it, because obviously a lot of the stuff that happened was to do with the studio and not necessarily the creators working on the film. and they've had a change of director since then. So I want to try and make sure that, as much as yes, there are issues that should never have come up the way they came up, it's not the fault of the people who are making the movie that we're going to get to watch. So I don't want them to get the blame for things that other powers were involved in that caused to happen. I think it's gonna be a difficult one. Nocturnal Animals just said Scream 6 was my second favorite of the franchise, so I was absolutely gutted about where it's gone, and have to say the trailer hasn't particularly inspired me. I think we're due a big trailer in the next week or so. I feel like if you look at the social media channels for the franchise, it's ramping up a little bit. So I think we're going to get a new look soon. So we'll see what a second trailer does for it.
It's naming the Super Bowl as well, aren't we? Which is like trailer Armageddon. So
I think that is the 9th of February.
It's surprisingly soon. Like when the first trailer came out and I saw the date at the end of it, I'm like, that's a bit quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one that hasn't come up in chat or with any of us yet that's on my list, Super Mario Galaxy movie.
I was tempted to put that on mine, you know.
Rosalia.
Rosalia.
Larson. Sold.
I love the first movie. I don't think it's perfect, but you know, what movie is Batman Returns? But I'm going to take that they have maybe seen some of the criticism from the first one, seen what people loved, and maybe adjusted things a little bit for this one. I think it's a fun game to choose to adapt, and not a most obvious one as well. So I know we've not seen a whole hell of a lot of it yet, but I'm really excited for that because I just love that franchise. And I thought that first film was able to overcome things that we were all worried about before going into it, like certain voice actors.
I agree. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, for the Super Mario Galaxy, I was into it, and then that like last final like 30 seconds where Rosalina's there with a star and she's cutting down that spaceship, I was like, yeah, man, sold. Take the money. I'll be there.
Toy Story 5 just came up in the chat. Not on my list because I feel like Toy Story ended twice already, and I was happy about 2 endings ago, and I'm over it at this point.
The funny thing is, I have got animated films on my list, and Toy Story 5, even though I'm intrigued for Toy Story 5, it's not on there. And I love Toy Story 4, but like it's not, the Toy Story 5 is not on mine.
I couldn't get with Toy Story 4.
I loved it.
It's all right. Do you know what animated film I think is going to be the animated film of the year, like in terms of big? Coyote versus ACME.
That's one that's on mine. I've got like a little plethora of animated films on the bottom end of my one.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, I think
the only other one that I have on my list, not animated, so my final one, Werewolf, which is right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers.
Werewolf. A new take on the kind of werewolf story. Robert Eggers. I could not do his name for a minute there. It was gone. Following on from Nosferatu, now doing the mystery of the werewolf. The werewolf. I actually realized I didn't get the cast list for it. Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, Ralph Ineson, Simon McBurney. Should be.
So it's half the cast of Nosferatu then.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Listed as Werewolf. I'm saying this because it's spelled with a U, not an O. That's in case you haven't seen it. So it's Werewolf. Is an upcoming period horror film directed by Robert Eggers, who co-wrote the screenplay. It will star Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, Ralph Ineson. Scheduled to be theatrically released in the US on December the 25th. Oh, so it's actually not out in the UK till next year. Very sorry, January the 1st, 2027. That will be that's a spoiler for next year's look ahead.
Love that. I've got one on my list. I actually don't know if it's a 2026 release, but Practical Magic 2. I know they're about to start or have made it.
They're shooting, aren't they?
I think so, and I feel like there's a date for this year. So I think that could be up there.
Practical Magic 2 is currently slated for theatrical release on September the 18th, 2026.
There we go.
Yeah,
and then I'd also chuck into that mix The Devil Wears Prada 2. Because
I've never seen the first one.
Oh my god!
No, I haven't
Really?
either. I haven't. Yeah,
I'm leaving.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Rage quit. He's off back
Rage
to the
quit.
Bone Temple.
This is where I live now. The Bone Temple. Yeah, Devil Wears Prada 2. I feel like it's going to be so good. I can't get over that.
God damn it.
That's so funny.
Robert Eggers is doing A Christmas Carol.
I vaguely remember hearing that a little while ago.
I'm Googling. Director Robert Eggers is writing and directing a new adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers, with his frequent collaborator Willem Dafoe eyed to star as Ebenezer Scrooge, continuing Eggers' signature dark period-focused horror style after his hit Nosferatu and the upcoming Werewolf. Chris Columbus and Eleanor Columbus are producing alongside Eggers, with production expected to bring a unique, potentially intense take on the classic story. Nobody else announced other than Dafoe. I had not heard of that. That's a surprise.
Me too.
Given his signature style, that I'm sure that will be an interesting one.
I can see that working.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, right. Michael, school us. What exactly is A Devil Wears Prada?
Oh my god, how do you even explain this film?
I know it's Anne
Hathaway's in loads of them, like Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, obviously Meryl Streep. They got Stanley Tucci.
Tucci's in it. Nice.
Yeah, he plays a gay person because he usually does. So it is Anne Hathaway who is in Bone Temple, starring Stanley Tucci. It's Anne Hathaway is an intern at like Vogue, but it's not Vogue because they can't legally call it that. So it's like a knockoff. And Meryl Streep is basically what we think Anna Wintour is. And I don't want to spoil it because if you've not seen it, it's literally one of the greatest films ever. It's so
I'm going to have to go watch it, aren't I?
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason. It's really good.
Well, I was going to say, you're not alone because off the cuff, Tom just said, oh my God, it's an institution just like Meryl herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron,
it's so good.
Maybe we're going to have to watch it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Disney Plus.
I'll go watch the Bone Temple.
Oh, there you go. Well, speaking of your Bone Temple, Martin says it's based off a book of someone who was Anna Wintour's assistant.
There you go.
What, the Bone Temple or... I thought we were still...
No.
I'm just going to point out that we've been live for roughly 90 minutes, and this is the point where all sanity is lost. So thank you for tuning into the Bone Temple podcast.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to segue away from the Bone Temple.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please
segue away from the Bone Temple.
I was going to lighten things up with going off of the Coyote versus Acme one that Michael mentioned.
I know what you're excited for. You've already seen it.
Yes. And now I have kind of three, one's half animated, but I have three sort of animated ones all in one go. One's not related to this, but it will make sense. So the first one's Coyote versus Acme, which is a long time coming because it was shelved and then not shelved, and then Ketchup Entertainment got it.
Yes.
I think that's what they're called. Yeah. The other one, which is connected to it, which the States got last year and we're only just getting in February, is The Day the Earth Blew Up. I've already seen it. I have written my review for the website. It is embargoed until the 2nd of February, but it is bloody brilliant. I was laughing.
I'm glad you said that because I had forgotten when it was embargoed to, and I moved the date of your post to the 2nd of February because I thought that was what it was, but I needed to ask you, but you've just answered the question for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's out in cinemas on the 13th. Perfect for Valentine's Day, I guess. Unlike the Bone Temple. And
do it.
And it's the most I've laughed with an animated film for quite a long time. It is just what I needed, and it is brilliant. It's got a little bit of like modern humor in it, but the film I can compare it to is like the Lego Movie or the Mitchells versus the Machines, where like half of the jokes come from them just awkward. There is one joke that really took me off guard where they just completely shift animation styles mid-scene with no context, no build-up, and that's the punchline. It's just that, oh, he's an anime character now. Great. Oh, it's like an old retro thing. It's really funny. It's brilliant. Please go and watch it in the cinema and support it. The other animated film that I was going to mention, which no one has mentioned at all ever in terms of their most anticipated, not for this video, but just generally, it keeps going under the radar, is Wild Wood, which is the new Laika film directed by Travis Knight.
Wild Wood at the Bone Temple.
I knew you were going to go there.
I'm sorry. I've been up since 5.
I tried to keep it wholesome. I tried to keep it. God damn.
That's a new Laika one, right?
Yeah, new Laika. I think it's directed by Travis Knight again, who did Kubo and the Two Strings, and obviously he runs Laika Studios. There is literally not much to go off in terms of a plot, but there have been some concept drawings and stills from it, and it looks gorgeous. But just the fact that we're getting a new Laika film, full stop, is interesting. Plus, I think Cartoon Saloon, who did Wolf Walkers and Song of the Sea, are also dropping a new film this year. Again, we don't know a title or anything, but the fact that they're dropping a film this year has me very excited, because I think both studios are a little bit like Studio Ghibli in the sense they very rarely miss, and a lot of the stuff they release is bloody brilliant. So there's some animation to look out for. And please go and see The Day the Earth Blew Up on the 13th. It's so good. It's so good. Please go and see it.
I think that might bring us to the end of this episode. I think we've covered pretty much everything. I think we've covered everything releasing this year. So I think what we've come to the conclusion of is we're excited for everything.
Yes. Yeah. We could have just summed this podcast up in 5 minutes, just going, we're excited for everything.
Yeah,
that's it.
We could have gone really technical and just given a release schedule, and been excited for that, excited for that, excited for
that.
Yeah. So that just leaves me, first of all, to say thank you to everyone who tuned in, both on YouTube and over on Instagram, especially to you guys on Instagram, because you have been commenting constantly all the way through, which is really cool. We really appreciate it. As we said at the top of this podcast, if you weren't already watching, this is our first ever live episode. Yes, we were 10 minutes late because I did mess up the technology, but we got there and we survived. And I have managed to sit here for the last 90 minutes with 5 of us on screen, which is why I'm going to take a photo, because I just need people to see how many of us there actually are. Because it's quite scary how many of us there actually are on my screens right now. But thank you so much for tuning in. We will try and do maybe more of these periodically. Maybe we'll do our middle of the year one as a live one, or we'll go ahead and do a live book club and talk about some comics or something at some point. I don't know. We will figure it out. Thank you to Tom for saying, glad I was able to check out a few minutes. Cheers, guys. Jordan Luke says, what we learned is that we are all excited for the Bone Temple. Nocturnal Animal says, I wasn't as excited for Bone Temple, but now I'm absolutely going to watch it.
You're welcome.
Sweet Pea says, you guys did great for your first live episode. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. You will be able to listen back to this podcast. If you haven't heard all of it, it'll be up probably tomorrow with the rest of our episodes to listen to, as well as available to watch back on YouTube. Aaron, anything happening over on Aaron at the Movies in the near future? Shaking his head. I'm really sorry.
There probably is. I need to actually see films to cover them on my channel. But I might actually do a video for The Day the Earth Blew Up to kind of go nicely.
Nice, do it. Yeah.
As well. Do it. I just want people to see that film. But yeah, not much else to report on the YouTube side. I'll think of some video to do that I kind of just make up on the spot.
Remind us where people can find you on social media.
Yes, so TikTok and YouTube, Aaron at the Movies. I almost forgot my own bloody handle for a second.
We've been live for a very long time. It's fine.
Yeah, too much Bone Temple talk just frazzled my brain. We're almost there. Yeah, Aaron at the Movies on TikTok and YouTube, and then everywhere else is Aaron Azza.
And Michael, what are you up to? Where can people find you on social media?
So when I'm not at the Bone Temple, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Digital Spiral. I'm sorry. We've been saying it so much, I couldn't not.
I'm gone. I'm absolutely gone. Right. Which just, yes, all I have left to say is if you want to keep up to date with all of the latest news, please make sure and go over to the website, which is www.galecomicon.co.uk. We will be back in a couple of weeks with a brand new episode. I do not know what we are going to be talking about. It will be a big surprise. We're also going to hopefully have some new faces joining the website this month. Thank you to everyone that submitted an application. I was expecting 0. We ended up inundated, so I have to spend the rest of my week reading through all of your wonderful applications. But we're going to see some new blood this year, which is going to be really, really exciting. Meanwhile, things we have coming up, we have our Avatar interviews, which I'm still kind of dropping on social media at the moment, where James got to talk to some of the cast and crew from that one. We're going to have review of Star Trek Starfleet Academy coming up very, very soon, which starts on the 15th of January on Paramount Plus with 2 episodes. Lots of things like the Bone Temple releasing in cinemas very, very soon. So please do check us out wherever you can. And also make sure to like, subscribe, thumbs up, do all those wonderful things. And if you're feeling really, really kind, leave us a review because it helps us find more of an audience. Ox Sweet Pea just said, do we have merch? We used to have merch. I think I have some stickers somewhere. It kind of became a thing that I wasn't sure whether people really wanted it or not. But, if people do, then I'm sure we can find something.
There will be Bone Temple merch at some point.
Which just leaves me to say, please do stay safe, stay well. Oh, find me on social media at Neil Vag, all major platforms. Right. Thanks very much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.